Well, it's quite a bit after 8:30. It is Sunday morning. I am Ron. So this must be Sunday morning live with Ron. Oh my God. I have to fix that. Can I? Can I do it by leaning? No, I gotta bear with me. I've got to fix this lighting here. I'll put it back on something much more pretty. Welcome. This is Sunday morning live with Ron. I'm Ron, as the name would suggest. And what we do here is I'm going to introduce you to the Hi Kate Mary. I had a Mary Perry and a Kate Mary on Instagram already this morning. I've got 3 people on Facebook. Do say hi. I can see your Facebook comments. Let's see. There I am. I'm much better looking than that previous episode would have suggested. As you can see, I'm not in my fancy little studio. First off, somebody give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. Somebody give me a thumbs up in the chat. Or just yes, I hear you. Because that's what has delayed me, as I've been trying to sort out some audio problems. And in doing that, I seem to have confused my other computer that sits in where my little home studio is in the other room. And in doing so, I couldn't do it from there today. So I had to scramble at the last minute. So I apologize for being late. Anyway, I'm Ron. As I said, we're going to do 3 things today. We're going to introduce you to the 4 new pieces that are going to be featured on my site for the next 2 weeks. Look at that. I've scared away everybody. I'm going to do a lesson on composition, how you can make your pictures better. And 3, I'm then going to go outside where my Sony a6000 is set up. See, that's a live shot from my Sony right now. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to demonstrate the scenes and everything that works. So let me just check here. I want to check my audio. Yeah, it looks like it's working. Good. All righty. So the first thing I promised, because I like to go in order, I'm obsessive like that. First thing I promised was I'm going to show you the new pieces that are going live tomorrow on my site. These 4 pieces are the 4 new pieces that will be featured over the next 2 weeks in my Instagram and Facebook posts. So you get an early preview. It is chilly outside, as you may be able to tell from my long sleeves. Now, I will admit, I'm a little bit spoiled. I live in Northern California. Chilly this morning is 54 degrees. So many of you may consider that a nice spring day. I consider it a chilly morning. We're due to go to 76. 76 is a good number. But let's show you pictures. That's what you came for. Except that you came and you left before I even got to the pictures. But if you're watching the replay, as I know many of you do, because Sunday mornings seem to be a confusing time for people. If you're watching the replay, welcome. Do comment. I do go back and I see all those comments. So do say hi. And let's get to the pictures. Goodness gracious. Mumbling all over myself here. Okay. Picture number 1. This is called Running Low. This was taken at the beginning of April at Henry Cowell Redwoods State Park, which is near Felton, California, up in the Santa Cruz Mountains. This little bit of muddy stream should have been gushing with water. I mean, April, that's about the wettest time of year that we have. And as you can see, it's just barely a muddy stream. That does not bode well. It's going to be a very, very, very dry summer in California, which is not good for tree crops. It's not good for people. We're gonna have a hard summer here. Sorry to say, but anyway, this one is called Running Low. Henry Cowell State Park, Redwood State Park. There's a train. There's a train that runs right up here. I'm going to get to that train pretty soon, I think. I'm going to try to go there. I'm trying to go with my friend and her family. This one is called Anybody for Some Orange. This was taken in Discovery Meadow near the Children's Discovery Museum in San Jose. And these are the California state flower, the California poppy, which are always just so intense. I mean, I have to tell you, I had to turn down the saturation on that orange quite a bit to get it to this point, and still on the screen, they just kind of glow. On this one, I really like how they were kind of backlit. So the light's coming from sort of behind. You can see how the highlights and shadows go. Just a nice little clump of flowers. Springtime is a good time for flower pictures. So that's what we got, some flower pictures. Do you realize it's almost June? That's amazing. This is called Blue Sky at Sunset. The sky was not actually blue. You know that I try to be realistic, and this is kind of realistic, but I was doing some experiments with my camera on white balance. One of the instructors that I'm watching as I'm learning portrait photography plays a lot with white balance to do something like this, where he would change the whole background blue and then flash with a flash that is basically a daylight on the people that he's photographing, so that they would be exposed right, but everything around them would be a dramatic blue. So I was playing with that one evening out at Ellis Lake Park, which, as you know, is one of my fun hangout places. Oh, welcome. We got some people on Facebook now. Welcome, welcome. Do say hi in the comments. I'm watching. I can see the comments, but I can't see you. Facebook does not let me turn on your camera and see you. I don't understand that, but they're like that. This is Blue Sky at Sunset. Now, this one I did play with a lot. You know that every once in a while I like to go crazy and create psychedelic abstracts out of real life things. This one is called, what is this one called? Franz Fantastic? Let's look. Franz on the Fringe. That's what it's called. Franz on the Fringe. These are some palm trees. This I took in Oakland, in the Embarcadero area of Oakland, when I was down in that area for sailing lessons about 3 weeks ago. I was waiting for the instructor and had some time on land, so I took some pictures. None of them were very impressive in and of themselves, but I had fun turning this one into sort of a psychedelic, abstract, Franz on the Fringe. So, those are the 4 pieces. Just to go back, okay, we have Running Low, Henry Cowell State Redwood Park, Anyone for Some Orange, California Poppies at Discovery Meadow, San Jose. Sorry about that. Blue Sky at Sunset, an exercise in changing the white balance. And Franz on the Fringe. Hi, Rose Morgan. We got people just bumping in and out here on Instagram. I don't know what they're looking for, but obviously I am not it. So those are the pictures. We'll come back and we'll look at those again a little bit later. Again, I apologize for the lighting and everything else. I just had technical difficulties. I got off to a late start. So we'll recover. Everyone will live, I promise. No flowers were injured in the taping of this show because it's not taped. It's live. It's Sunday morning. It's live. It's Sunday morning live with Ron because I'm Ron. Okay. And Ron has a website. Okay. Ron has this website. See here. It says right there, I'm Ron. Okay. Just so you know. All right. I have this website. It's called Ron Alcott Photography. It's a great place to go and look at some really nice photography that I took even. Okay. So be aware of that. Indulge yourself. Okay. The show's called Sunday Morning Live with Ron. One of the things that's going on right now at ronalcottphotography.com is we're running our monthly giveaway that ends on May 31st. I'll do the drawing on the 1st of June. And I mean, the lighting in here is just awful. I apologize, but this is what we're giving away. It's called Plan Ahead. This is a bed of tulips at the Filoli National Historic Preservation Site in Woodside, California, down on the peninsula, San Francisco Peninsula. And there's just the summer plants were coming up in the middle of the springtime plants. And I really liked that. So this is our giveaway this month. This one right here, this very picture on the foil, the metallic photo paper. Okay. It'll be signed and it'll be sent to you free of charge anywhere in the US and actually anywhere in the world because that's what it says on my ad. So I guess I have to do that. But the point is, if you win, you win. All right. You don't have to pay anything. You don't have to do anything except tell me where to send it and what you want to have on it for a dedication. That's all you have to do. Life is easy when you hang with Ron. We like to keep things easy around here. All right. Welcome everybody on Facebook. Glad to see you here. We have seen that. The next version of this show will be coming up on June, looks like June the 6th, which means it will be, hopefully, if I can figure out the Wi-Fi stuff, it will be live from Antica. I'm doing a show June 5th and 6th that weekend. The Main Street Watermelon Fair, the Manteca Watermelon Arts and Crafts Festival, I believe is the official name. But anyway, it's in Manteca. If you go to Manteca, Manteca is not that big. you should be able to find the festival. All right. It is June 5th and 6th, Saturday and Sunday. I believe it goes from 10 till 5 each day. And come on out and see me. I'm going to be there in person with my pictures. I'll have some of these for sale. All right. Because you'll know already whether or not you won one. I've got some framed prints coming. So I'm building up an inventory of framed prints. It'll all be on sale. You'll get special deals for the fair. Life will be good and things will continue on as they always have. The glaciers will again cover the earth, but we won't be here. So what do we care? So that's coming up. And then the following weekend, I will be up in Reno on the, what would that be? The 12th and 13th of June. I will be up in Reno at Reno River Fest. Again, I'll have all my art. I will be selling things. I also will be launching my portrait business in June. So June's going to be a busy month for me. So if you're local here to the Bay Area, not that anybody local to the Bay Area has actually checked in with me, but if you're local to the Bay Area, I am starting a portrait business. I'm actually pretty good, if I do say so myself. But there will be some deals as I start, so keep your eyes peeled. I'll be advertising for the whole Bay Area, and there may be a Groupon, there may be a giveaway in Concord Comes Alive. They do weekly giveaways. I might try to get into that. So just lots of ideas. We're launching that this week, or not, next month, rather, not this week, because I still have to finish the website this week. But we're doing that. I'll have some new pictures in 2 weeks. Okay. There'll be more new pictures. Probably some. I'm going to go later today out to a waterfowl wildlife refuge near me that I've driven by many, many, many times on the freeway. And I looked on the map today and saw how to get there. So I'm going to try to go out there with some of my nifty, new, big, high-quality lenses and see how many good bird pictures I can miss. So that's what's coming up. If you want to get in on the drawing, if you're already getting my email, then you are already on the drawing list. You don't have to enter again. If you want to get in on the drawing for Plan Ahead, okay, then go ahead, go to ronalcottphotography.com. There it is, right across the bottom. ronalcottphotography.com. Go there. And at the top, you'll see this red alerts banner. And one of those alerts tells you to enter the drawing. So that's what you should do, because I told you to do it. That's why. Seriously, if you want to win, get signed up. That's the way that you win. If you're already on my mailing list, you're already signed up. And that's the way things work. Okay? So we've done, after all of that mumbling, that doesn't even count. That's like a freebie bit of announcements. We've only done one of the three things that I promised you. So the second thing that I promised you was that we were going to do a lesson to help make your photography better. So it's time for the lesson. Lesson time. I just made that up. It's not really going to be the theme song for lessons. We are quite a ways down in our article here. We are using this article from Petapixel. called 20 Composition Techniques That Will Improve Your Photos by Barry O'Carroll. It was written back in 2016, but the good thing is it's composition. Composition has been the same since cave paintings. All right. These rules have always applied to art before there was ever photography. All right. Just to run through what we've talked about. So next time, I think we will finish this article. We'll do one summary presentation, the following one, so that you'll have a list of all 20. And with that one, we'll give you a download. Okay? But number 1 is rule of thirds. Number 2 is centering and symmetry. Number 3 is using the foreground to add interest and depth. Number 4 was using frames. Okay. Number 5 is using leading lines. All right, including S-curves. Some people count S-curves as something different than leading lines, but they're not. They're just leading lines that are bent. Diagonals and triangles, okay, which you can see converging leading lines make triangles. Life is good. Okay, more triangles, patterns and textures, like this picture here. All right, or this one here. The rule of odds, which simply says you want an odd number of things in your picture, because if there's an odd number, the human brain will select one. Okay, it can move back and forth between its selections, but it can focus on one at a time. If there's an even number of things in the picture, your attention wanders constantly back and forth between the two. Here he's used that to create a sense of conversation between these two gondoliers. He spent more time in Venice than I have. Fill the frame, okay, which means fill it up. And the exact opposite, leave negative space, which is leave empty space. Okay, those are both rules. All right. Simplicity and minimalism. Okay, don't have a lot of distracting elements. Decide what you're taking a picture of and take that picture. All right. Isolating the subject either by filling the frame, okay, or minimalism. Okay, that's a way of isolating the subject. There's nothing else around it. And also isolating your subject by using bokeh or bokeh. They're both right. So that the very sharp on your subject and focus is blurred everywhere else. Changing your point of view, get high, get low. Okay, take a different point of view. Particular color combinations, complementary colors, which are colors that are crossed from each other on the color wheel. Okay. And then the last time we met, we talked about the rule of space, which says if something could be traveling in your picture, it should be traveling into the picture, okay, not out of the picture. Okay, if this boat was all the way over by the bridge, your eye would follow the direction of travel from the boat, and you might miss the whole Parliament building. All right, you would see the boat in the foreground and follow it right off the edge of the picture. Okay, so that's the rule of space. Okay, here similarly, you've got this leading line. Okay, and it's pulling you back into the picture rather than being over on this side where it would pull you out of the picture. All right, that's the rule of space. The left to right rule says that because, as English readers and speakers, Alexandra popped in too. We read left to right. If there is an element of motion in your picture, it should go from left to right. Okay. So those are the rules we've covered so far. This week we're doing 17 and 18. 17 is balance. Now, balance, it's hard to describe, but it is having an eye for the weight, visual weight of objects, okay, and getting them balanced within your picture. Okay, here we've got this lamp, which looks very big in the foreground, balanced against the Eiffel Tower, which we know is very big, but appearing much smaller in the background. That sort of creates a balance. Okay. And this is on one rule of thirds line. This is on the other rule of thirds line. Rather than have the whole thing shifted over where one's on the edge. Again, balance is kind of a subjective thing that, in my mind, you have to develop an eye for. But look for ways to balance your subjects. If you have something on the left, try to balance it with something on the right. Okay. Here they've got their focus on the left, obviously something in Venice, balanced with something in the foreground on the right. Okay. And it really is, even in the article, he talks about it's quite subjective. Okay. And that it contradicts the idea of having a rule of odds. Okay. Because here you've got just the two things. Okay. And it goes against the rule of negative space, which says all of this over here should be empty. But none of these are actually rules. All of these are composition guidelines. Right. So that's the first one we're going to look at today, is the balance elements. All right. And I'll try to talk through that as I am outside demonstrating. And then the other idea is that of juxtaposition. Having two seemingly contradictory things juxtaposed, I guess, is a real word, over each other. Here we have this row of newsstands, okay, juxtaposed in front of what I believe is Notre Dame Cathedral, because he likes to brag about all the fancy places he's been. Okay, but you have this very, very prosaic, modern day, flat two-dimensional work against this Gothic church, huge Gothic church. So it's a imposition of contrasts. Okay. Again, here you've got the car very much in the foreground. And they complement each other perfectly. So, juxtaposition. So, balance and juxtaposition are our two lessons for today. As I said, we've got two more to go. And once we do that, I'll do one final wrap up where I will have a download for you that lists all 20 of those compositional techniques and just like a little crib, one sentence blurb as to what each one means. So take a look there. when that happens, but that's not going to be for about 4 weeks. In 2 weeks, we'll do number 19 and number 20, which I haven't even looked to see what they are, but that's what we'll do. You and I will look at them together. We'll discover things. Discovering things together. I feel like Mr. Rogers. We can discover things together, boys and girls. So that's the second thing. Okay, we've done 2 things. One, we looked at our pictures. This is an excuse. All right. We have Franz on the Fringe. We have Blue Skies at Sunset. We have Anyone for Some Orange. And we have Running Low. Okay. So those are the 4 pieces that are going into my website tomorrow. This website here. Okay, and they're the ones that are going to be featured in Facebook and Instagram over the next 2 weeks. And in 2 weeks, the reason it's 2 weeks is that in 2 weeks, on June 6th, we'll be doing Sunday Morning Live with Ron. Again, you just can't get rid of me. I keep showing up over and 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 over, over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. June 1st, we're going to do a drawing for this print right here. I apologize for the lighting. Doesn't show off well in this room. Okay, but this is called Plan Ahead. That is my May drawing. You have until May 31st to go to the website and enter to get in the drawing. If you're already on getting my emails, my newsletters, then you're already in the drawing. But this is going to be the last month. So starting in June, we're going to make people sign up again because we're going to come out of this with close to 1,100 names on the list. So I want to give people that are actually participating a better chance. So we're going to go to, you have to sign up again in order to get on the list. And so 1 is pictures, 2 is announcements. June 6th, June 5th and 6th, I'll be at Manteca Street Fair. June 1st at 5:30 Pacific time, we'll be doing the live drawing for this guy. Okay. June 6th is Sunday Morning Live with Ron. And because I'm at the Manteca Street Fair, then I will be live from there, assuming I can figure out the whole Wi-Fi mess. And then the following weekend, the 12th and 13th, I will be in Reno at the Reno River Fest. And then I'll have like 4 months of residency at the MGM Grand. I'll be opening for Celine Dion. I will not. That's an out and out blatant lie. It's not an alternative fact. It's a lie. It's a lie, bold and plain. But I will be launching my portrait business here in Northern California. So unless you want to fly me somewhere, I'll be glad to fly anywhere in the world to take your portrait. Okay? As long as you're going to fly me there. So, and then we did our second thing, which was we looked at the juxtaposition rule, compositional technique, and we looked at the balance compositional technique. So, hi, Barb. Glad you're here. And then the third thing that we're going to do is I'm going to go out in my backyard where my Sony a6000 is sitting there waiting for me to do something with it. Okay. And I'm going to demonstrate balance and juxtaposition. Haven't quite decided yet, but it's a long walk outside. So, if there are no further questions, because once I go outside, once I switch back over to my camera, I won't be able to see the comments anymore. So I'll be glad to answer them when I come back in, but I'll be out of pocket and won't be able to see your comments. The other thing is, when I'm at the camera, when I go to change scenes, I have to unplug the cable. That means that you won't see things, but when you're plugged in, I can't see things on my camera. So, in order to get a picture out of my camera that demonstrates things, I have to frame it up and then I'll plug it back in and then we'll take the actual picture. See what it looks like. You and me together. You never know. I actually, 2 weeks ago, one of the pictures that I took during this composition training course ended up as a picture on my gallery. I liked it so much. It came out very, very nice. So sometimes I get things right. So let's take the website down. Let's take all the fun facts about Ron down. And let's switch over to the camera. And Don and Coast popped in for a second on Instagram. Thank you, Don and Coast. And off we go. There we go. I am on my way outside. Now, again, because I had to go into my office instead of into my little broadcast studio, which is much closer to where my camera gets set up. It's going to take me a minute to walk there. So bear with me. Just hold your horses. I'll get there. In the meantime, talk quietly amongst yourselves, which is going to be hard if you do watching on the preview, because you're going to have to talk quietly just amongst yourself, not multiple selves, but just you. So you go ahead and talk to yourself, because that's what I'm doing now. There's no shame in talking to yourself. I can say that unequivocally because I have no shame and I talk to myself all the time. So I have made it outside. I am approaching the camera. So, what are we going to do today? All right. So, here we go. Stop saying so. What we're going to do, I really like that. I love oleanders. They're very bad for allergies, which means I wake every morning with allergy problems. Let's zoom this out. Let me frame this up and see what I can do about some balance here. All right. So, bing, 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 bing. Okay. Let's get a little bit better depth of field. About there. Okay. And as I said, balance can be kind of subjective. Here, what I'm doing is I have balanced this citrus tree in the foreground and then balanced it to the left with the taller trees. I don't even know what those are. I should learn that. The taller trees in the background. Okay. So we get balance that way. Okay. Let's take another look at balance. Okay. I'm going to swing around here. You can't see me swinging, but that's what I'm doing. All right. Okay, here you go. You can have your picture back now. Okay. Here, I've created balance with the two oleander flowers. Now, this one kind of breaks the rule of having a clean background because the flowers don't quite stand out enough against that green when you're just looking flat in the camera. But that can be fixed in post production. Okay. But I've created balance with one flower in the foreground, one flower in the background. All right. So that's the idea of balance. Finding the shot that creates a feel that things aren't going to fall apart. And it's very, as I said, it's very, very, very subjective. So you just have to get a feel and take a lot of shots and look at them. And once you've looked at them, go, is this balanced or not? Okay. So then the next one is juxtaposition, okay, where you have two different things, one against the other, one in juxtaposed in front of the other. So we're going to move the camera. With any luck, we won't disconnect you because this is a little bit touchy. But we're going to move the camera to a different part of the yard in order to do some juxtaposition. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up a little still life here. You have to pardon me, I did not get out here and clean things. So there's a lot of pollen and dust and stuff. We're going to use our good friend, Mr. Rabbit. I bet you were wondering where he went. There he is, Mr. Rabbit. All right. And we're going to come down, get down on his level. So far, I'm doing all this blind, so I don't know what you're seeing, but now you're seeing nothing. All right. Now we've got a problem with lighting. Yeah, can we go this way? That's a little better. So the problem with doing this at this hour of the day is that we have some very, very bright sunlight. We have some very, very dark shadows. And it's hard to get the lighting consistent. All right. So we've got Mr. Rabbit juxtaposed in front of the very natural oleander. And let me just up the aperture. Okay, so that it's all in focus. Okay, that would be very, very different than closing down the aperture. And now you're not really juxtaposed because the background is going to be blurry, I think, I hope. Yeah, it's all pretty. All pretty in focus because the background's not that far away. But that's the idea of juxtaposition. You put a man-made thing in front of a natural thing, and you have them both in focus. Just like remember the picture that he had of Notre Dame. All of that was in focus, as opposed to, let me, again, reframe. All right. Oops, there we are. Now I'm adjusting the setup here a little bit. I'm going to get in closer to Mr. Rabbit. All right. And what you'll see now is Mr. Rabbit will be in focus, but the rest of the background will start to blur out. Now I had to go down to a much wider shot because I'm working with my zoom lens, and this particular zoom lens, the maximum opening, your maximum aperture, is not very good. It's a 3.5. That means that it's essentially a third of the opening. But if you zoom out, that goes all the way up to 5.6 as your largest aperture, which doesn't give you a lot of blur unless you get really, really close to the objects like I just did. So that's the whole idea. We're going to do one last frame up here because he cracks me up all the time. Okay. Okay. And there, now that I've zoomed in a little bit, you'll see the aperture has shifted up to 5.6. That's the best I can get. I just wanted to take that one because I like Mr. Bunny. I have a kitty living in my backyard, and she does not like the fact that I came out here today. She's like, "What the hell? You're never out here. You're never out here. Did you specifically come out here to bother me? What is up with that?" Actually, she didn't say any of that. She just ran to her hidey hole under my bedroom. There's a crawl space under my bedroom. And she is living down there for reasons unknown to me. Oh, that doesn't look like you saw any of that. Well, that's a real shame. So it was a good lesson. Wonder why that is. Oh, that's because it went offline. Interesting. Must have been when I moved it. Oh well. I apologize. You never know with this technology whether it's working or not working. And this time it appears it didn't work. I'm sorry. But you still learned about it. Okay. You just didn't see me do it. So, what did we learn today? We learned that Ron has 4 new pictures going onto the website. Okay. And they are, right? To find out where I stuck the Instagram people. Instagram people are in the inside of my pocket here. Hi, Instagram people. Well, we had 5 people join while I was out there. It's pretty amazing. They must have liked the oleanders. What did we learn today? Did we learn anything? Huh. Well, we learned about the 4 new pictures, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and those are going to be up on the site tomorrow morning. And the site would be this one here. All right. And then we learned about the drawing coming up June 1st, which you can also go to the site, get entered in the drawing if you're not already on my newsletter list. That's the way to be in that drawing. We learned that the drawing is June 1st. We learned that the next Sunday Morning Live with Ron is June 6th, which will be from the Manteca Street Fair. And the Manteca Street Fair is the 5th and 6th, and I will have a booth there. And I will have copies of this. Okay. I have copies of this. Yeah. That's called Sometimes You Just Have to Sing. I'll have copies of a lot of other things. I'll have framed art. I'll have matted art. I'll have flat prints on metal like these. I'll have flat prints on standard paper. I won't have any ice cream. So if any of you want to come out, bring me some ice cream. I will always accept ice cream. This is something you can take to the bank. I will always accept ice cream. We also learned that the weekend after that, June 12th and 13th, I will be in Reno at the Reno River Fest. The weekend after that, June 19th, I will be launching my portrait business. So if you're in Northern California, look for the ads. I'll be doing a headshot special. I haven't picked the place yet, but it's going to be somewhere here, Concord, Walnut Creek, Pleasant Hill will be my first one. So be on the lookout for that and come and get your picture took. We learned about the concepts of balance and juxtaposition. We learned that those are number 17 and 18 in our course of 20. So we're almost done with this series, which some of you may be applauding. We learned that Ron's camera's not working right, that for some reason it lost track of that little box that makes it all work. So I have to apologize for that. I don't know what I can do to make that work better. I have to come up with something because it just keeps falling apart. We learned that I'm Ron and you're probably not. We've learned that we do this every other Sunday live at 8:30 Pacific time. We learned that my other computer conked out on me this morning and isn't behaving correctly. We learned that you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you'll get what you need. So until next time, you be good to yourself, be kind to other people, and become the person that you would like to meet. Peace out.